with yourself?
I'm with the group, but right now there's a meeting going on, so it's just going to be me on the call.
Okay. Maybe people who want to add their points of view can pop in and out if they want to.
Yeah, definitely. I could go inside and maybe see if they're available.
Okay. So let's start with you. How did you get involved with Dream Defenders? What motivated you? Were you in university then? What got you going?
So I'm a high school student.
Mm-hmm. So how old are you, may I ask?
19. Wait, 1 second. I'm sorry. I just closed my bag.
Okay.
I'm 19. I started with the Dream Defenders when I started off as an ally, working with another organization, Power Youth Center. I ended up working with the Dream Defenders after the takeover of the Capitol. But at the Capitol, I started working more with the Dream Defenders because just the work they do and everything, how powerful and like moving it is. So it just like encouraged me to want to be involved with them.
Mm-hmm. And what do your parents think about you occupying the Capitol?
My mom's an organizer, so she was all for it. They supported it. I had a lot of parental support on it because they really support the Dream Defenders and what they stand for. Oh, I wanted to ask you something.
Okay.
You sent me what you already had on the Dream Defenders.
I did.
Yeah. And Daniel Agnew, who was one of the people you quoted in it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the quotes he said was wrong because it said humorous struggle, and he was saying like nothing's humorous about it. If it was possible, that could be edited.
Of course, that's why we're doing this. Let's see. We're not just stern individuals. Where does he does.
Wait.
He just says we're not stern individuals.
Yeah, but I think some part of the article. Let me check real fast. You still there?
Yeah. I'm just reading what we sent. He said it's not a white and black thing. It's not a male and female thing. We have old, young, white, black, gay, straight. We can be cool. We're not just these stern individuals.
Yes, that's right. And it was some part of the article. 1 second, I'm reading towards it now.
Okay, your picture disappeared. I don't see you anymore. There. Good.
I picture disappeared, so I was looking at my Gmail so I could see the article. Is it possible I disappear for 2 seconds?
Sure.
Okay. Article fast. All right. One of the sit-in group, Daniel Agnew, compared their more inclusive and humorous struggle with the civil rights struggle of Martin Luther King. That right there is what he was talking about. He didn't like the fact that I said humorous.
Okay, and what should I say instead? Should I just get rid of it?
I guess. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's done.
Because he's like, the struggle is very serious. It's not something we take lightly.
Right. Okay.
All right. Now, let me reappear on your screen.
Okay.
Am I back?
You're back.
I'm back.
Okay. So what happened is Trayvon was murdered by Zimmerman. Zimmerman was acquitted. And then how did the movement come together? We've got to do something about stand your ground.
So Dream Defenders originally started after the wake of the Trayvon incident. Immediately after, they marched and really shut down one of the police departments and everything, trying to get Zimmerman arrested and everything. And they really wanted to dig more into this because we're organized. That's what we do. We organize. So they went at the legal standings. They look into the laws that are in effect, what was actually causing this incident, what was making it happen. So pretty much Dream Defenders looked into we looked into everything, and we seen like the main thing that was constantly being brought up is the stand your ground law and how it's used in this case in an unfair point of view and used against Trayvon, who was not there to represent himself because he was shot and killed by Zimmerman.
Right. And what next?
So the thing is, afterwards, when Zimmerman was acquitted, the Dream Defenders, we got together as an organization and decided we're not just going to let this happen and justice continue. We're going to be about something and do something about it. So we marched to the Capitol and we stayed there. We occupied the Capitol for 31 days, 30 nights. We stayed inside the Capitol, Florida Capitol, Tallahassee.
Right.
We were up there. We met at first. The governor would not meet with us. After the third day, he met with us, but wouldn't meet with us again. About
what happened that third day? What did he say?
I was actually one of the people in the meeting with him.
Oh, good.
And his pretty much response was, "We just need to pray about it."
Pray?
Pray.
Oh, wow. The Dream Defenders need to pray about it, or he needed to pray about it.
The world just needs to pray and move on.
Oh. That's an interesting response.
Yeah.
And then he wouldn't meet with you again.
Wait, actually, can I borrow her? Can I borrow it? Not that long. If it's just a couple seconds. All right. So I have LaQuinta, who's a Dream Defender.
Hi, LaQuinta.
Ask her a couple questions before she has to head back in.
Great. May I ask how old you are?
I'm 21.
And are you a university student?
Yes, FAMU.
How did you get involved in Dream Defenders?
At the Capitol is when I got involved with the Dream Defenders.
Why?
They were sitting in for the Trayvon Martin case, and I was upset about the verdict. As far as him being not guilty, I knew it was wrong. I was happy to be a part of something that, and a part of a family that was actually doing something about it, to sit in and also to bring awareness to senior ground laws, quota prison pipeline, and racial profiling, which are all things that I've seen growing up. And I'm excited to still be working on those bills to keep progressing as a youth, as well as progressing as a people. So that's the reason why I got involved.
How would you say youth organizing methods are different than, say, the civil rights activists of the 60s?
The only difference really is just the social media. That's it. Other than that, it's all the same. We're all working together. We're all just trying to bring awareness to all of the different issues, and we're also just all trying to get together, Black and brown people, and just bring awareness and do the sit-ins, do all of the different actions. But there's really no difference.
A lot of critics say that your generation is apathetic, apolitical, caught up in their electronic gadgets, and that they're self-centered. How would you reply to those critics?
They clearly don't hang out with the youth. They're a typical stereotype. But definitely that is, they don't hang out with us and they don't know who we are at all. Because if they did, they would understand that we are very political and very aware of all of the things that are going on in politics. We care. We're very adequate with all the things that we do. We also are very aware and just knowledgeable of things. And if anything, I think we're also smarter than most of the representatives in our state, really. So yeah, I think that they just stereotype us and put us under a dumb category, really.
They stereotype you as what?
No, I said they stereotype us and put us under a dumb category.
Because you're young?
Because we're young, yes.
Ah, that's interesting. That's
how we feel or the things that we know.
But the thing is, the youth of this generation and everything are and the youth of past generations are the ones who led all the youth, all the movements. All movements have always been youth led and youth founded. And LaQuinta had to go back inside to the meeting. I'm sorry.
Okay.
all the movements were always youth founded, youth led. The civil rights movement, it was youth walking out of schools. No matter what happened, it's the youth that's always been on the front line that has done the backbone work of organizing.
Why do you think that is?
Because it's the youth who are most affected by it. It's the youth who has to deal with the consequences on a daily basis. It's the youth who experience it. The ones who experience or has to deal with the problems are usually the experts, because they're the ones who see it on an everyday basis and can understand it to the fullest.
Like racism and sexism.
Yes.
This generation of has also been called post-feminist. They'll say, I'm not a feminist, but, or I don't hate men, so I'm not a feminist. What do you hear about attitudes towards feminism, and who does the leadership in the organizing?
I have to go back to what LaQuinta said. I agree that's stereotypical. That everything that's being said is the fact that the youth are not given the chance or the voice to speak. And right now, the Dream Defenders is really standing up and representing, saying, no, the youth will have a voice, and we will make this difference. And you got to understand that youth are the most educated and most respectful around. It's the youth are knowledgeable. So I just agree that's just stereotypical.
What do you see in terms of organizing? A lot of the current uprisings try to be horizontal, very democratic, no real leaders. How do you try to have horizontal organizing, or how do you get things done? How do you make decisions in a group?
So, like I said, we're youth-led, so we have different things that happens. We have presidents of our chapters, like each college has a president, a vice president, or it's very democratic. Everyone puts input in, everything. It goes through a system and a process. That way everyone's voice is heard and the solutions are being addressed.
So it does have a hierarchy in terms of a president, a vice president, and voting, like majority rule.
No matter what type of organizing you do, there always has to be some type of structure.
Well, there's a debate about that, so I'm really interested in what you've found. Tell me more about the structure that you use to make decisions. Our next action is, how do you decide that?
If an issue comes up, we'll bring the group together as a whole. Like, if there's an issue we heard about, like, what issues are bothering people, what do they want to work on, what's going on, just pretty much so everyone could really have their voice heard and put input in.
And then how do you decide? What if half the people say...
The thing is, we usually have, like, staff, which people go take turns saying what's going on. We might vote on it. It's different processes that go in place, where it could be voting, where it could be, this is a serious issue. What do you guys think our action should be on it? Just really trying to come with a democratic solution.
Do you use the hand signals like in the Occupy movements, like I approve, I block, sexist, that kind of stuff?
Honestly, I think it depends. Maybe sometimes, maybe not. It just really depends.
On how big the group is.
It depends on what we're doing at the time.
But if there's a large group that you might use the hand signals?
It's possible. I won't say yes because I honestly do not know.
Okay. Probably because the groups aren't that big that you don't need it. Those hand signals work when you have 1,000 people, and I'm assuming your gatherings are smaller.
Not necessarily, because when we were in capitals, we had hundreds of people a day coming in and out.
And okay, and how would you make decisions? I mean, would people vote, or would they like clap? Yes, that's the one. Or how would you decide?
Pretty much, we might break up into groups, come back together and see what each group accumulated. We might vote after each group decided, or it could be for things that way everyone has a chance to be heard in each individual part. Because if you do as a whole, then sometimes it's hard for everyone's voice to be out.
Yeah. And then who would facilitate or run the meetings?
It varies, because we are constantly doing leadership development, youth development. So you could be leading it one day, a staff the next day, then it could be a new youth. every day it varies, so that way everyone's constantly being put in a leadership role and developed.
Mm-hmm. And if you had any kind of constructive criticisms for how organizing is done, what would you say?
I say organizing is not about the individual. Organizing is about everyone as a whole and who's really being affected by the community, and remembering the purpose of why you organize.
Mm. What do you do with people who say, "Okay, I'm going to do this task. I'm going to do the publicity for this event," and then they flake? Because there's always people like that who are enthused in the moment and then they flake.
Accountability. So Dream Defenders have very good accountability. Everyone's really accountable for what they do.
How?
And you always have like a backup plan and stuff set in motion to make sure, like I said, you have to be organized to make sure you are really structured. You did your research. You are ready to go. Dream Defenders is very organized as a general, as a body, and as a whole.
So if I'm supposed to do publicity and I don't do it, how am I held accountable?
So it depends. Let's say you're supposed to do I'm sorry, tongue-tied. Let's say you are supposed to do that and you're not being accountable for your own actions.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you want to do it again next time. Maybe we feel like you need to go through trainings or maybe really learn what does it mean to be accountable. Like, will help teach you and lead you to the path so you know, understand what does it mean to have that accountability.
And who does the trainings?
It's different people. Like I said, it varies. It always varies because it's constant development that's going on inside this program to make sure that everyone is developed.
But
everyone is a leader.
Is it mostly like the students who train each other, or do they bring in outside people who know about
students? It could be Dream Defenders who already graduated, who already been there. It's constant. It's a constant cycle.
But it's not likely to be like a professor who knows about group dynamics or something. It's more like peer organized.
I'm saying it can be. It can be. It could be a professor, but generally it is peer organizing because the peers have a lot of experience. And I feel like in another way, that's how youth are taken for granted, because a youth might know more than that professor about that specific subject. Just because they're a professor don't mean they know more.
Yeah, good point. And so why did you end after 31 days in the Capitol?
Because most of our demands are met, and why it's good to be in the Capitol, our work doesn't stop there. We plan on moving farther because our work is not only in Florida's capital, it's to take it back to our communities, back to our homes, everything we learned, everything we experienced, everything that has happened, and keep going and build off of it. So
what are some of the things that you're working on now? Like, what are you talking about in this meeting?
So right now it's talking about the stand your ground laws, racial profiling. It could be the prison complex systems, privatization of prisons, different issues that is affecting us all over Florida. It's the different chapters from each capital is here, the president. This is the statewide retreat.
Ah.
Everyone's here for it.
And are you the president of your chapter?
No, ma'am.
What's your title?
I'm a community leader. I'm one of the community leaders.
Uh-huh.
Because of that I'm in high school. It's not high school chapters yet, but we're starting Youth Unchained very soon, which is going to be like high school, middle school students to get them more involved.
And what is it called? Youth what?
Youth Unchained.
Oh, Unchained. And that's going to be like a new organization, or is it going to be part of Dream Defenders?
Of Dream Defenders is just like the younger generation of Dream Defenders, helping bring them up so when they are ready, they're able to take their leadership roles inside the communities and everything to help develop them more as leaders.
Brilliant. Do you have any of your like training manuals in writing that other people could learn from?
I believe so. You will have to check the Dream Defenders website.
Okay.
Which is dreamdefenders.com.
Okay. And at the meeting today, what % are women?
I believe it's an even balance. I really haven't checked because we don't go by women or men. We just go by people. We try not to, be like try to oppress anyone. So everything's usually even, and everything's demographic and stuff. Everything's, um, it's like democratic. Everything's democratic, so it's usually an even now.
But often what happens in groups is, and the Occupy movements around the world have had this issue, that men talk more, talk louder, talk longer, kind of try to take over.
They have to.
What?
Sorry, thinking out loud.
What did you say?
I don't believe that's necessarily true, so I feel like they really don't understand that women and men are equal, and then that's another problem in the movement to really get that balance. So right now, the Dream Defenders has done a great job in keeping that balance where women and men talk the same amount. There's no type of difference between it. We're even all the way.
But how do you do that? Because it is often men do want to kind of monologue and take over.
Not necessarily true, because you could have women that might be the same way. So, like, we're very diverse. Like, let's say we're having training, it might not just be one woman facilitating, it might be two men, or we might have women step up more if we feel like men are stepping out more, like, just to really make sure everything stays balanced and everyone's considered equal. There's no one being oppressed or stepping over inside this movement.
So, do you have chapters on all the colleges, or some, or like how many chapters are there?
1 second. Do you might know how many chapters we have in total? 9? We have 9 chapters in total.
And so roughly how many members would you say you have?
10? 100?
Mm-hmm. So you've done a lot with 100 people. You've accomplished a lot.
And we plan on accomplishing more. The Dream Defenders will never be finished until we have the equality inside our system.
That's a big job. You're right.
The younger generations, so they could take it over for us.
What's happening with Stand Your Ground? Is there any movement in the legislature to change that law?
So I'm not exactly sure. Wait, give me 2 seconds.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
So there's a hearing. There's a hearing in January that's but they're not sure if the bill is going to be on the floor or not. We're still trying to find out more information and everything about it and following up with it. We're still following with Stand Your Ground, trying to see what's going on with the bill to make sure that we're still updated and trying to address it. It's still one of our biggest concerns.
Mm-hmm. So when you think about your high school and your people you know at your high school, what percent would you say are aware and involved, and what percent are like, I care about the football game, or, who's going out with who, or that kind of thing?
Like, that's a trick question, because actually you would believe, you majority think most youth aren't aware, but they notice. Every youth notice what's happening. Every high school student notices something's not right. They notice that their school's broken down, or if they don't have as much resources as the other schools. Every student knows this. It's just how many students will act on it. Well, that depends on discipline policies, because right now we're living in a system where it's so oppressed, students are afraid to act out on it, which is why there's so little student involvement. But lately, it's been increasing because organizations like the Dream Defenders or Power You or different organizations that are encouraging youth to stand up and have that voice. So I feel like right now, there is no percentage because it's constantly increasing.
So by discipline, I mean, this like the high school prevent people demonstrating or having rallies, or how do they keep people
Like
from?
if you walk out of school, like a walkout, you'll be suspended for 10 days, or it's different discipline policies that really try to prevent you from being like expressing yourself. Like if you wear the wrong clothing, sometimes they're like, why would you wear this? This is not school appropriate. Like if you have something that says like, I don't know, fight authority, or like it's not school appropriate or school attire. So it's really going towards the system of oppression that we constantly are living in.
I see. Um, so where do you want to go to college? You're graduating in the spring?
Yes, I'm graduating in June. I want to go to FAMU, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University.
Why? Do you want to work in agriculture?
Well, for me, I want to go because it's more personalized. I feel like, small schools are better. Like, it's more personalized. You get better education. Like, you really get more relationships with your professor. And I love their awareness and the fact that it's a historically black school and different things about it. It's just the environment. I love it. And then, of course, my dream defenders are there. So, it's another bonus.
Yeah. In the high schools around here, a lot of times if you go at lunchtime, the Asian kids are here, the black kids are here, the kind of college-bound white kids are here, and they kind of have distinct groups, and they're friendly, but they it's clear that this is where the Asians sit, or this is where the jocks sit, or something like that. Do you find that in? Pardon?
What happened?
So my question was, do you find that people kind of self-segregate in your high school, or is it really integrated?
I feel like it's both. You got some, like, if you're in band or something, then you'll find, like, a whole bunch of integrated people. But it's like the more arts and everything are taking out, the more segregated it is, because it becomes harder for you to reach out to people you don't know or you're unfamiliar with. And when you did have the opportunities or the classes and places to do that with, they were taken away.
What do you mean?
So,
what was
like arts being cut back, or like dance and stuff, fine arts being cut back. And like it's just mental. Like you feel comfortable. Maybe okay, I'm white. I don't know these people. Maybe it's more comfortable to go towards the whites. Or I'm Hispanic. Maybe it's more comfortable to go there. Maybe they'll accept me better. And it's just the way the society has our minds set up. And we really need to break that chain inside our youth and let them know, no, it's not that if you're white, you go to the whites, Hispanic, go to Hispanics. It's just if you're wherever you are, you're just people. You're not colors. You're not race. You're just people, and you have to integrate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not integrated. When you go to lunch, school's not integrated. It's separated. The way everything is, it's still separated because you still have that mental state of mind.
Yeah. And Dream Defenders is mostly black and brown, or you have different kind of colors in it, a rainbow thing?
Rainbow. I'm going to say rainbow. We have different colors, but we're mostly black and brown, yes. But we have different colors all over the rainbow because of the fact that Dream Defenders is not only black and brown youth, it's inspiring all youth to stand up and be a voice in their communities and recognize what's going on and become leaders.
So can you start a chapter of the Unchained in your high school? Does your administrators oppose it, or can you organize in your own high school?
My high school, I don't know. I'm supposed to be starting to try when I go back to see if I can, but I haven't really had a chance to have that conversation with them. I've been so busy getting everything ready for college and work and school to go to college. So my senior year is kind of crazy.
Yeah. That's a lot to work and go to school and apply for colleges.
So I don't know. I'm trying to get that together, but honestly, it's just a lot of times, like I've been with Power Youth Center for Social Change, where we've been trying to talk with administrators or school boards and maybe having some educational classes about social justice or restorative justice or different things, and we're shut out a lot because of it. It's like they don't want anything to do with it, or something, and it's just the fact that the system is being so oppressive to our youth.
What are other ways that the system is oppressive besides not spending money on schools, racial profiling? What else is oppressive?
It's the constant discrimination. That it's like the targeting about like the school to prison pipeline, which is targeting our Black and brown youth at proportional rates. That's constantly students are being suspended, expelled, arrested for minor 1 and 2 infractions. You have like different things that are targeting our youth, where if they're not in school, they're being kicked out into the community. They're targeted by the police, or different things just because they're not in school. It's not one thing that targets them. It's the fact that there's multiple, and it's constantly building, and it's this entire system of oppressing youth.
And do you think, you said you think youth are aware, but I wonder if they really were more aware, there'd be more speaking out and more protests.
I don't feel like it's the fact that they're unaware. I just feel like it's the fact that they're afraid because of all the stuff that's in place. Like, let's say they're the only ones in school right now, and they're also supporting their families, or the families might be depending on them. You have a lot of youth in different situations that it's almost impossible to speak out without there being severe consequences and everything on top of it. And for the ones who can, they are privileged. You're lucky because of the fact that you could do without consequences. But a lot of times, let's say you speak out, your parents might not own you or be happy about it, or like just disclaim you because of you speaking or how you feel. It's not just necessarily saying, oh, they're aware, they'll speak. It's different factors that go into it.
Right. Got it. Is there anything else that you'd like the book readers to know about Dream Defenders or youth oppression or youth organizing or whatever?
Honestly, it's just that being a dream defender is a commitment to actively living out your values, such as love, honesty, empathy, every day of your life. And it's like, you just really gotta understand what does that mean to these people. Like, to be a dream defender is you're not just representing yourself, you're representing all the youth who doesn't have voices to speak out on their own.
Yes, that's beautiful. Representing youth. I'm taking notes. If you want me, have you already turned in your college applications? Because I'd be glad to just copy edit if you like. You know, where you write essays for colleges. Are you there?
You started I'm sorry.
I said if let me know if you need me to copy edit, to proofread or edit any of your college application essays, because I'm a fanatic editor.
All right, thank you. I would love that. If I have anything, I'll email you.
Okay, and what I'll do is I'll send you what I've added from what you've said, so you can critique it and add to it. And I have
also, for some dream defenders that couldn't be out here, they wanted me to tell you some stuff, so I might just email you some quotes for some of them.
Great.
And everything, so you'll have it.
Great. And I have a draft of the book. If you have any time over the break and you want to read about what youth activists are doing around the world and critique it, I can send you a draft.
I would love to. That would be awesome.
Cool. Is there anybody else who wants to, who has a minute to show their face?
Well, not at this time, because right now we're going to the structure, Dream Defenders, and explaining it to people who are just coming in and everything. So if anything, I could maybe send you have people maybe email you or something if they want to end up doing a one-on-one with you.
Can you have the laptop pan the meeting?
1 second. Let me see something.
Hi. Thanks. I got a bit.
Yeah.
Where
Alright, I'm sorry.
where
They're
are
like having a presentation, so it's a little dark in there.
is it a school or where are you?
We're at a college.
In what
We're
city?
at. I think this is. What school is this? I think it's UCF. I think this is UCF.
That's great they let you use the space. Is the person you're talking to want to talk?
They're.
Oh, they're all in there. Okay. All right. Well, this was a great start. I will work on it. You will give my email to anybody who wants to add their points of view, and I'll send you the chapters. When do you finish with school so you have time?
Me? June.
No, I mean for the Christmas break.
Oh, I'm done. I go back on January 6th, I think.
Okay. I